Hello, and welcome to a Believing Heart podcast, a podcast about video games and the like. I'm your host, Mario 8th. Find me across the internet at Mario 8th, and all the links are in the description, of course. All the links of everything I'm going to talk about are also in the description as well. Anyway, how's it going? I'm currently recording this Tuesday, 8/16. This is releasing on Wednesday, 8/17, episode 2, the second time I've ever done this, so let's see how it goes out. So I was going through the news from the past week, and I really wasn't finding all that much. I guess it was a pretty slow news week. There was some other stuff I was viewing about, like I think I saw a Genshin Impact story, but I don't really care about that. Same for like Final Fantasy XIV. A lot of Marvel advertisements are going out there, and I don't want to talk about any of that. This podcast is me talking about news that I want to talk about, and with that, first up on the docket, the new Kirby is out now and looks really cute, as is always the case with Kirby. Kirby's Dream Buffet is releasing today. Right, September? Yeah, it's releasing today. I saw the trailer when it first announced the trailer was going to be trailering, and I thought it looked really cute. A fun little racing game with Kirby. I like playing as Kirby in different games. And I was also interested because I recently played the new Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, and me and my sister had a real good time with that, and I'm wondering, hey, maybe this will be pretty good too. The issue being, if I buy it, I would have to buy it twice, and that's $15 twice, which is $30, and one of us doesn't like it, then I'm wasting 30 whole bucks basically, and it's tough, but it looks real cute, and it's coming out by the time this releases, so that's cool. Alright, next on the docket, Dragon Ball is in that Fortnite, I guess. Dragon Ball is an anime I've never watched and never will watch, but I did listen to the Giant Bomb podcast where they listened and talked about Dragon Ball Z, the first however many episodes up through the Boo Saga, I think it's called. And now it's in Fortnite, I guess. There are 4 characters: Goku, Vegeta, Bulma, and Beerus? Whoever that is. And it's just funny, I guess. I don't play Fortnite. I've never played Fortnite, and I probably won't play Fortnite. But it's just so weird what Fortnite is. They have so many licensed characters in it, and it's just it sucks. It's smashing your toys together, the video game, except you have to pay for a lot for all of them, and I don't like this conglomeration of all this IP. But also it's silly, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's just a matter of time before literally every character that you think might be in Fortnite winds up being in Fortnite. Like, is Link in there yet? Is Samus in there? I bet they will soon. It's not like Nintendo has a bad reputation. I mean, Halo Master Chief is in it. Is like Aloy? Is Nathan Drake in it? I don't know. I feel like it's only a matter of time before all of these action figures get to be smashed against each other in this weird first-person shooter battle. It's third-person, isn't it? Third-person shooter battle royale. Now, THQNordic is a weird company, but if you don't know the history of Nordic is a company that went up and bought a bunch of the THQ properties way back a few years, quite a while ago now. After THQ went bankrupt, all the properties got sold elsewhere, and eventually, a few years afterwards, Nordic bought the THQ naming rights and as much of the IPs from across the industry as they could, and then they rebranded themselves as THQNordic. And then eventually, the company that owns THQNordic kept purchasing video game developers to put under their belt, and they eventually embraced so many that they became the Embracer Group. So I'm reading the article off of IGN, everything announced at the THQNordic Digital Showcase. Really, THQNordic is a part of the Embracer Group, and it's just It's a weird corporation. I'm not sure I'm happy that it's owning all of these different development studios, but I went through the announcement. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Knights of Honor 2, Sovereign, Gothic Remake, Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed, Space for Sale, Recreation, Tempest Rising, and a new Alone in the Dark remake. Out of those, the only one that really interested me might have been Recreation. It's a car one. I saw some people who like those types of games interested in it. Oh, also Valiant and The Way of the Hunter. None of those really interest me at all, but they announced a new SpongeBob game. Now, I wanted to play I really liked SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom back when I had it on the Nintendo GameCube. And I never bought the remake. I heard it was pretty good. My brother played it. But I never got around to it. And now they're doing another one that looks a lot like it. And I love a good 3D platformer. As you might notice, when I finally get to them in Super Mario in Review, watch it now every other Saturday at 5 p.m. Arizona time on youtube.com/Mario8th. I like a good 3D platformer, and this looks to be another one of those, except SpongeBob's in it, and I like SpongeBob. I even just pre-ordered the SpongeBob Nendoroid that Good Smile is putting out. And so yeah, I'm gonna play this game. The Cosmic Shake. SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake. I'm looking forward to that. And on to stuff I don't really want to talk about, but it's a slow news week. From IGN, and I'm not actually going to talk about this specifically, but the headline is going to lead me into what I want to talk about. Ezra Miller apologizes for recent behavior, says they're suffering, quote, complex mental health issues, end quote. And so, here's the thing. Ezra Miller seems to be a really bad person, and that's a bummer, because everyone has to deal with their own mental issues in their own way, and everyone should get the help that they need to get. But also, like, he seems to be like an actual convicted criminal who has done some very bad things. And it's just funny. Like, I watched both iterations of the Justice League, and both were bad, and Ezra Miller was a part of it. He wasn't an especially good part, but I also didn't hate his performance, but it's just fascinating seeing whatever is happening to him happen so publicly and out in the open. And also thinking about how Warner Bros. Is going to deal with the ramifications. I was also seeing headlines about how they're thinking about just full-on canceling the movie he is starring in. That's the move I think they should probably do. But yeah, it's a bummer. I hope he gets better. I also hope he doesn't do anything more terrible, and I also don't think they should release his movie. Oh, but what I was going to say is, based off of the quote he just said here, it feels like Warner Bros. Wants to release this movie because they've already started the Ezra Miller is very sorry for what he has done. Now please forget about that, maybe blame the mental health issues, and release the movie so they can make more money. Speaking of making money, finally, the game about racist wizards, based on the book about racist wizards, written by a deeply transphobic piece of garbage, got delayed. I hope nobody buys this crap. I am not a fan of the Racist Wizard series. I used to be a fan of the Racist Wizard series, but like as soon as I grew any sort of conscious, I realized, oh, these books are A, not the best written, B, incredibly racist, and C, the movies are only carried by the actors. And so I understand liking it growing up and as a kid, but now that I almost said her name. Now that the racist wizard writer and transphobic wizard writer has come out to be such the huge piece of garbage that she is, it is completely unconscionable to support any part of this stupid series to me. I mean, you do you. Maybe on February 10th, by the clearly, like the source, by the clearly racist. It is so racist based off just the trailers. The clearly Jewish stereotypes are the bad guys, and the wizards are here to defeat the Jewish stereotypes. But go ahead and buy your racist game because you love... I said it. I was trying not to say it. Because you love the racist wizard book as a kid or the racist wizard movie as a kid. But, I mean, come on. Come on. And that's pretty much all I pulled for the news. As far as what I've been doing, I'm about halfway through Better Call Saul right now. I just finished Season 3 last night, meaning I have 33 more episodes to go, which is a little ironic because Better Call Saul proper just finished last night as well for good. Now, I scrolled past a lot of it when it came across my Twitter feed, but apparently it's good. I'm excited to get to it in about 3 weeks. That seems to be the clip I'm on. It's a great show. I'm really liking it. I don't want to spoil anything. There is one character that, oh my gosh, I hate them. I hate them so much. This character is just, anything that could go bad that happens to them, I don't feel bad at all because they are just a truly vile human being. And I'm trying to use non-gendered pronouns so I don't clue into who I'm actually talking about. Nor will I say what happened even remotely close to what happened to them in the recent episodes I just watched because I don't want to spoil it, but it's a good show. It's a good show. And I'm also having a pretty decent time with that new Horizon game, Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, the first one. I finally started playing it. There was a day where I didn't want to watch more Better Call Saul, and I also wanted to not edit more of Super Mario Interview, youtube.com/MarioWaith every other Saturday at 5 p.m. Arizona time. And so I finally started playing a video game. It had been a while since I played anything. I've sat down and played anything major. I've knocked out most of the Mario Kart courses at this point. I play a bit of RuneScape here or there. But I haven't sat down and played anything since I think pretty much since I finished Super Mario Odyssey, which at this point was a while ago. And I'll be honest, after my first playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn, I was a little unhappy. At this point, I was at a sneaking mission where I had to assassinate human beings that do not glow in the dark while it was dark out. And the timing was just bad on my part. If I had gotten there during the day, it would have been a completely different story. But I arrived at this mission at dark, and I couldn't see a thing, and it was infuriating. I died so many times. And then a little bit later, I noticed, there's a whole skill tree that the game didn't really communicate about. Now, I know there are a lot of big open world games like this, and I guess having played one of them, I should have intuited there was going to be a skill tree and looked for it earlier on, so for instance, while I was questioning, weird, I haven't gotten a stealth kill yet. That's the very first upgrade I wound up getting from the skill tree, but they didn't tell us about the skill tree, and that was a little frustrating. But I got past that hump. I unlocked a bunch of skills, I got a little better at the game in general, bought a new weapon, and I've been having a pretty good time with it. Fighting these robotic dinosaurs is not my favorite. I would much rather go play another one of the Monster Hunter games I love, because that has much better monster hunting in it. But it's not bad here. I also really don't like as soon as they introduced the human enemies, my opinion of the game kind of went, oh, you had to do that? Like in a game about fighting giant mechanical beasts and dinosaurs, your gameplay couldn't hang solely on fighting robotic dinosaurs? You had to introduce humans? That was just that bummed me out a little bit. Look at Monster Hunter. You can put so many hours in learning how to fight these monsters, but in Horizon Zero Dawn, the game marketed on fighting big monsters. It is most of the fighting you're doing, but then they just couldn't resist putting in humans. I also, speaking of complaints about what's making this game not my favorite, climbing sucks. And climbing also sucked in Ghost of Tsushima. And while there hasn't been as many issues where, like, in Ghost of Tsushima this happened a lot. I got to the top of a cliff and really wanted to get to the bottom and just had no way to quickly get there. Whereas in, say, Zelda Breath of the Wild, when I get to the top, I glide back down. And I still have that feeling both in Tsushima and in Horizon Zero Dawn, but it's not as bad in Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, as a whole, there are hills and valleys, of course, but as a whole, the level design in Horizon feels a lot more flat. And so there are not as many issues where I want to have to glide back down, so I think that actually works in its favor. That being said, with all the gameplay complaints I have, I mean, this game came out basically the same time, like within a couple weeks as Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this game is nowhere near as good as Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm about a fifth of the way through, not including the DLC. And Breath of the Wild just does everything so much better. And then Ghost of Tsushima, which came out 3 years later, I think. 2020 sounds right. I also like a lot better. And so this is like a far third in terms of the 3 big open world video games I've played, excluding the Spider-Mans. They're quite different. But that doesn't mean it's bad. I'm having a decent amount of time with it. Last thing I want to mention is the writing feels off. And I've been thinking a lot about how this writing is. At the top, 1, it's bad. But most writing in AAA video games is bad, so I'm not taking that too much into account. But then there's this... I don't know how to... It feels like this game is written by atheists, and it's written by atheists about religion. Every single character in this game is devoutly religious to either the sun or a assortment of machine-type gods, except for the main character, Aloy. And it feels like the writers wanted us, as the players, to connect with Aloy and be like Aloy, and we roll our eyes at, oh, these silly humans. They think there's a god talking, but it's clearly a robot. Aren't they so silly? We're much smarter. We know robots are not gods. And it is grating. I don't like it. And I don't know why I don't like it. It feels like making Aloy a devout atheist was the wrong move. It puts her outside of the world in a strange way, and again, I'm only a fifth of the way through, about 20%, and so I'm sure it wraps back around. I've also had some light spoilers here or there that are cluing me in on where the story goes, but it's a little frustrating. I don't like it. I wish Aloy had a little bit more compassion or believed herself a little bit more. That's the believable thing. Yeah, she got her computer at a very young age, but her father figure raised her to be devout. And then the very first side quest we get is her being a complete atheist, and she carries that throughout the whole story. Even people with the other computers are not atheists. She is alone in that, and that's what feels weird to me. Alright, that's about as much as I'm going to talk about Horizon Zero Dawn for now. And that's about all I have for the podcast. If you enjoyed, maybe leave a rating, maybe leave a comment, maybe subscribe, and if you'd like to watch Super Mario in Review, check back Saturday, every other Saturday at 5 p.m. Arizona time. I'm posting a new review of Super Mario in Review, and please watch that. I'm having a good time editing it and putting it out, and I hope you enjoyed as well as I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.